American public.
I want to go back to taxes for a moment because the Dow is down about 350 points on reports that the Biden administration is going to propose doubling, essentially, the capital gains rate for high-income Americans. Can you tell us any more about that plan, and do you have any concerns that that would discourage long-term investing?
Well, we're still finalizing what the pay-fors look like, but I will say that the president's calculation is that there's a need to modernize our infrastructure, there's a need to invest in childcare, there's a need to invest in early childhood education and making our kids and the workers of the next generation more competitive. And he should propose a way to pay for it. His view is that that should be on the backs, that can be on the backs of the wealthiest Americans who can afford it, and corporations and businesses who can afford it. And his view and the view of our economic team is that that won't have a negative impact. There are alternative views, or there are proposals that don't exist yet on how to pay for it. That will be a part of the discussion. But he stays firm to his commitment to not raise taxes on Americans making under $400,000 a year, and he'll have a range of proposals on how to pay for his plans to invest in education and childcare.
Got it. And then finally, can you tell us anything about these reports that the Pentagon has been investigating suspected directed energy attacks likely by the Russians against U.S. troops?
Well, I believe the head of a very high-level member of the military spoke to this and denied those accusations or allegations and said there were no, he did not have any evidence of those reports, and that's in some of the stories now. So, go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. There's been a lot of talk about innovation in the private sector, but going back to the public sector, today putting out the International Climate Finance Plan, kind of piggybacking off of another question, when you're giving money to developing nations, raising that amount of money, what kind of strategy does the White House have for dealing with maybe some opposition in Congress there, and also changing within the government, like the administration planning to spend less on fossil fuels, relying more on green energy? What's your strategy for reaching Republicans in Congress?
About the importance of doing this?
About how to, get them to raise the amount of money that are going to developing nations, and the importance of doing it. But also, I mean, the wheels of government sometimes turn slowly, and you're talking about a lot about the industry innovation, but getting the government on board, the federal government, Congress on board with the plan.
Well, some of this commitment, I think, as you're alluding to, of the climate finance announcement is asking Congress to appropriate the $1.25 billion. Is that what you're talking about, for the Green Climate Fund? And we're obviously going to have to work with Congress on that. I think our collective view here is that it is not, the United States is a major emitter in the world. We're not the only emitter, and that in order to address the climate crisis, we need to work with developing countries to ensure they have the resources to help meet those obligations. That's certainly the proposal and the pitch we would be making. We're not saying it's going to be easy, but that would be the pitch we'd be making around that finance.
When you might make a pitch like that, when that might be coming up?
With members or with
members, yeah.
Well, certainly we just announced it today, and I expect we'd have conversations soon with members about the importance of moving this forward.